YouTubers, and welcome to a first episode here on ESGNet, Madden 16 Pittsburgh Steelers franchise, Steeler Nation. This is episode 1, as we're going to take a quick review of what happened in the first 4 weeks of the NFL season with the new franchise here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying the series so far. Right now, I'll be honest, the series has been a lot of fun to play. I've been looking for a team that I can really work with, especially work with a team that has some defensive issues, and that's this team. This team has a lot of defensive issues, and something hopefully we can turn around here coming up in this, starting the next season. But we're only in the first 4 or 5 weeks now of the season, and every 4 weeks I'm trying to do a video for this series here. Talk about what is going on with our team. Now, take a look here. Bryant, who we were just now, we were told from the NFL has been released from his suspension. If you guys don't know, he was in real life. He was suspended for 4 games because of the NFL drug policy. So was Le'Veon Bell, but Le'Veon Bell's was reduced only down to 3 games. He was able to play in Week 4 matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's what I did in this series. I went ahead and suspended both of them for the first 4 games. First 3 for Le'Veon Bell, and then the first 4 for Brian. Now, Brian will be able to play in Week 5 here when we play against the Jets. We'll see what he does in that one. Take a look at some of the current injuries right now that we have for the team, and I found out that the game against the I apologize, I didn't show you guys this, but in the game against, I believe, the Eagles, Antonio Brown had broken ribs. Now, he'll be out for 4 weeks here, and so that's going to be hurting us here as we got, we already have issues with players getting injured. Now we have, we have another person on the shelf here. So currently the Steelers are right now 4-0 going into Week 5. There you see the current standings right now in the AFC North. Ravens 3-0, Bengals 2-2, and the Browns 1-3. Now, we have not played the Ravens or the Browns just yet. We have played against the Bengals. We won that game. That was a Week 2 game. We'll get into that a little later here. Very classic rivalry game there, and pretty high scoring there. We'll talk about that here in just a bit. But take a look at the other standings here. Like I said, for the most part, I know what we're going to do for the draft. I already kind of have my idea of written down of what we're going to be doing for draft wise. When I've already been looking out when it comes to scouting for defensive players. Mainly, the idea is looking at players when it comes to safeties and corners. Those are the 2 positions right now that we're really struggling in when it comes to talent. Now, don't get me wrong, we do got some pretty talented guys on the squad here right now. But I think there are also some issues of age. Age becomes a big factor here. I know a lot of people probably been wondering why we haven't re-signed James Harrison. And that's the reason, because we want to see what he can do. Harrison's kind of like the last guy we're going to possibly sign. He has been around the league for a long time there. But he's 38 years of age. And, we don't want to try to sign him to a long-term deal. I don't see him playing into his 40s. So that's the issue that we're working on right now. If we do re-sign him, it'll be only a 1-year. We'll probably just franchise tag him for a 1-year deal and see what he can do from there. But we will, like I said, we are going to be our idea is we're going to draft a outside linebacker and take his position. Either if we do re-sign him or if we don't. So that is something we're looking at into. But defense will be the main focus this year for this first draft here for the Steelers. Right now, you guys are taking a look at the stats right there. Sorry, I'm not getting into those stats or anything right now. But this is something I wanted to address. This is something that I thought these first 4 games here, I was like, the defense really needs a real just makeover. It needs to be. I really just want to gut it out and just get rid of a lot of players that are just not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And when I look down the raw, I've been looking at the depth chart and stuff like that. It's like, okay, there's some guys that I could re-sign that really I could do some developmental work there. Not to mention we got some guys on the practice squad that we could possibly bring up if need be. If there's some players right now that I'm even looking at the practice squad there that we could possibly bring up here in the next couple of weeks. Especially with all the injuries we have right now, that'd be a good opportunity to have them step up. So, that being said, we are going to be working quite a bit on defense. I will show you guys the scouting report for that when it comes to who we're scouting and why. And that might be coming up here after week 8 when I've had more time to scout players and see what they can, see what their, potential are and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, right now we're just kind of, just when it comes to scouting right now, just kind of just seeing what we need, what we're lacking in right now defensively, in those positions right there. And so far, I think right now it's going to be corners, safeties. Definitely going to try to get another defensive lineman there. I'm kind of thinking of moving to a 4-3. These last couple, like this franchise and the previous franchise, the Green Bay Packers franchise, I've worked with a 3-4. And I'm getting kind of used to now working with a 3-4 now. I kind of like having 4 linebackers out there doing some work. But like I said, for that to happen, we have to have some really good athletic guys to really move around. And in this situation with the Steelers, I feel like we don't have that. You guys might say otherwise, but from my personal with working with this team so far, I don't see what we have any really athletic guys that can really move around there. When it comes to the linebackers position there, but I could be wrong. But yeah, that's what we're going to be working on for the remainder of the year. We're going to be drafting guys for defensively. Offensively, I love it. Offensively has been great. Ben hasn't been sacked as much. He's had enough time to be able to pass the ball. I think our running game is just is getting there. I think it would have been better if we were able to have Le'Veon Bell the first 4 weeks. But hey, suspension happens, and I'm trying to keep the series as close as real life as possible. So having that first 4 weeks, I kind of want to see what the backups can do. Both Williams and Cobb, and so far they've done their job. They've really stepped up and really done a good job there. I think offensively, the only thing we need to work on is probably offensive line. I may have to get some better guys that can do a better job running, run blocking and stuff like that. So that is offensively, I have nothing right now to say bad about them. They are putting up points on the board. I just wish they had put up so many points on the board just to be able to win the games that they've won so far. Because that defense really needs to, if I have a stellar defense that can really lock it down and have this offense, oh man, this is a dream. this would be the ideal team. So, but hopefully in season 2 we can really get the defense that we need and just really show off what they can do. So. Get some also too. Get some guys in there that can blitz, because it's been tough trying to run blitz plays and corner blitzes like that, and no one can get in there to get the quarterback. Or if they do, it's either it's too late or it's blown coverage. I should have had the guy be one-on-one or play zone instead of blitzing. So that's something we're gonna have to work on here and try to do. And it could be my error, could be the user error, it could be. Or just as simple, just the not, got to get more talent and just get more XP into that position, those players and stuff. So that's something we're going to have to be looking at here in the next couple of weeks as we move along here and see what we can do. Now, we'll get into the actual games here in just a bit. Take a look at some of the stats here that you guys for the first 4 weeks and see what some of your favorite players have done so far. Excuse me. For the most part, Steelers are looking really good. Ben looking great as always here. I can't believe he's already up there in years when it comes to playing the NFL. It's kind of like one of those things. Like, wow, he's a veteran. He's one of the he's an old guy when it comes to the quarterback position. He's had a couple of picks there that I'm kind of thinking like, oh man, why did that happen? Why did I throw that into coverage? And there were some other picks that I'm like, okay, Ben, what the hell are you doing? That should have been that should have been in there. That quarterback, that pass should have been to your receiver. But for the most part, I mean, I wouldn't say an MVP type of season, but he's getting up there. Putting some really good numbers there. I think you guys already seen him already, but putting some really good numbers there so far here. I think he's in the top 10 in both in passing yards and in touchdowns. And we're going to try our best to keep him under 10 interceptions this season. I shouldn't say that, but that's our goal, to try to keep him not have double-digit numbers when it comes to interceptions. He may have that already, but as far as I know, I don't think he does. But yeah, Ben going very well. You got Sammy Coates is doing very well. He hasn't been playing too many games. Especially now since Bryant's coming back. Bryant, I can't wait to bring him, see what he can do. This will be his second year with the Steelers, and we'll see what he can do offensively here. Very talented, fast guy. Can break away from the defenders very easily, just like Hayward Bay. So that's going to be a very big plus. Like I said, I have no qualms or queries with the offense right now because I feel confident what they can do this season. Take a look here at some of the top players of the first 4 weeks, and there you see Ben Roethlisberger, Offensive Player of the Week there. Nice job for Week 3. And in Week 4, do we have any other Steelers? Yes, we do. Oh, it's Big Ben again. Nice job there, especially that game against Kansas City there, as he threw 500 and some odd yards in that game. So, nice job there from him as he takes that on. Now, go ahead and go to the first week here. First week, we were on the road, went against the Redskins there in D.C., and talk about a game. There you see a final score 31-21. Very tight there in the first half there. You see both teams only scored 3 points in the first quarter. Great defense from both sides, locking it down. But then just came undone as we got to the second quarter and then going to the second half there. Ben Roethlisberger in that game needs to keep his offense on the field. That's what we need to do this year in every single game. We need to keep the offense on the field so the defense doesn't have to do too much, and that is something that, as you see in a lot of these, especially that Kansas City game, we were on the field and off the field real quick, and that's what hurt our defense. Our defense, like I said, is not the best, and we need to keep them off the field. We need to get 3 and out, but really wear down that opponent's defense as much as possible. When it comes to running, Williams needed more running lanes that first week. It was tough. Offense, just when it came to rushing, pass rushing, or rush blocking, it was really tough. Washington's D could just smell the run, and we had a lot of problems there until we got to the second half and we were able to run the ball a little bit more, really wear down that defense, and then pretty much that's how we won the game. Just really doing a good job there running. So offensively, like I said, don't have too many queries with the exception of the run. We just need to block a lot better and really help Williams out when it comes to trying to wear down the opponent's defense there. So there you see some of the numbers there. You guys can check out the stats and whatnot. But for the most part, it was a fun game. Like I said, we won that game with a final score of 31-20. So like I said, first half, very tight game, very good, good defensive battle there between both with both defenses coming out to play and showing that they're not going to give up too much. But then everything else, after that second half happened, it was just like, okay, offenses just took over the show. Next game, week 2, we took on the Bengals at home. Final score 33-23. The Red Rifle there, Andy Dalton, always having a great game. There you see the time of possession there. They beat us at that time of possession. They did a great job with that. Beat us by a minute or so there on time possession. But there you see 289 yards, 3 touchdowns there from him. And just could not stop him at all. It was tough to really get at him and get a hold of him. We did get 1 sack on him, but other than that, that was it. I mean, he was pretty much on key. As for Roethlisberger there, Roethlisberger in that game was 24-40, 339 yards, touchdown, 2 interceptions. General Williams, 17 carries, 112 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns for him. There you see the numbers there for us. And for the A.J. Green there, you see 6 receptions, 72 yards, 1 touchdown. Great game. A pretty decent game for him. Just could not do too much. Boyd, the other wide receiver there, the rookie from Pittsburgh, there, 2 touchdowns there for him in that game. He had a great game. As for us, Hayward Bay, 6 receptions, no touchdown, but 83 yards. Whedon, 2 receptions, 37 yards, no touchdown. And Antonio Brown, 2 receptions and 30 yards there for him. Take a look at the defensive numbers there, and there you see some of the numbers there for us. And for the most part, I mean, defense. There was times defense I wish they would have stepped up a little, did a better job of stepping up. And for the most part, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think they did a great job there when the Bengals were inside the Steelers 20. They did a good job of just really putting pressure on them. I think an interception. I think one time they did, and were able to get the ball. Steelers were able to get the ball defensively and turn it over, and get the ball back to their offense. But for the most part, a classic AFC North rivalry game between these two squads. And what did you expect from a game like that? Now this game, this is when the fun really begins. Week 3, we have against the Eagles there in Philly. Philly coming off the first quarter there, 10-3, coming out of the first quarter, and really just put a number on us, especially Mr. Carson Wentz. Needed pressure on that quarterback as much as possible. Carson Wentz, not to be played with at all. There you see our time of possession. We did have that on our side, but when it comes to passing, 430 yards there for Carson Wentz, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception there from him. We did get him once when it comes to sack. 18-28, 64 yards, 64% of his passes completed. For Ben Roethlisberger, 462 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception in that game. D'Angelo Williams, 1 touchdown, 21 carries of 49 yards. There you see Sproles, 19 carries, 44 yards, and 1 touchdown there from him. Sproles, as he's been in the league for 11 seasons now. It still seems like he's playing like he's a rookie. Just cutting up defenses, spinning when he has to, juking, and just making guys look silly on the field. And that's what he did to us for a while there in that game. Until finally we were able to just really lock him down. Hayward Bay in that game had a really good game there. Ben, when it comes to Ben, Ben had a great game, but he just needed to avoid INTs there. It was just really tough. He threw 1 in the game, but it was 1 too many, in my personal opinion. Williams, on the other hand, he had a great day running, but just could not get into the end zone. I know for a few times there with the Eagles, we were on the line, on the goal line there, and they just denied us every single time with Williams. And that's something that I think we're gonna have to really, like I said, rushing. Offensively, I love them, but I love the team offensively. But when it comes to the running game and it comes to the short yards like that, they have a tough time, trying to, open up a hole there for the halfbacks there. And that's something we're gonna have to address here in the next couple of weeks about that. Now we'll go for the most recent game here you've seen here on the channel. It was against the Kansas City Chiefs. Talk about the Chiefs. 21 points alone in the first quarter there. Alex Gordon just having a game. Decided to come to Pittsburgh and just claim it as his. No running game for either squad there. Le'Veon Bell, 13 carries, 21 yards, no touchdowns in his return. As for Williams, he had 9 carries, 20 yards, no touchdowns. Spencer Ware, 21 carries, 101 yards in the ball game, and no touchdowns. So we did a great job there, but we just gave up too much. We gave him the century mark there in that game. I guess running wise, he had a great day, but when it came to actually scoring, he had a tough time there. We really did a great job there shutting him down. Defense, again, no defense for either one of these ball clubs, especially for us in the first quarter. We had no right to say anything because our defense was horrible. Giving up 21 points in a game. I don't think I've ever done that in a Madden game at all with any team. So the Chiefs did a great job there. But then, second half came around and the Steelers put the pedals to the metal and really shut down Gordon there as much as they possibly could. Smith had a great game up till the second half, and then we finally figured out what he was. The defense finally figured out what they were doing, and we're able to shut him down. Albert Wilson, as you see there on your screen, 4 receptions, 159 yards, 3 touchdowns. I honestly did not know how to stop this kid. This kid is is an excellent runner. I actually talked to a friend of mine who's a big Chiefs fan, and I asked him about this kid, and he's like, yeah, this kid, what you see in that game, that's what you see in real life, how he is in practice and stuff. So that is somebody we're really going to have to watch out for if we end up for whatever reason, have to meet the Chiefs again here in the postseason or something, if we do make it to the postseason. I really think this defense is becoming those defense that you can bend and don't break. I feel like we're breaking. Each week we're bending more and more and more, and eventually it's going to snap, and we're going to be in trouble. So we need to nip this problem in the butt real quick, and try to get this defense wrangled in. But take a look here at the next week's opponent, week 5. There's the numbers there from the Jets, who we're going to be playing against. Ryan Fitzpatrick and company will be our guest here at home there at Heinz Field. We'll see what we can do here. Like I said, Brian will be coming back. We'll see what he can do here. Hopefully we can have a big game coming from him. Hopefully we can have the defense show up and really lock down when it comes to passing. We need some heavy hits. We need some hard hits for the defense there on opponents there. We just are not getting that for some reason. I wish the guys would step up and get some heavy hits on our opponents. So Jets will be our opponents next in week 5 as we get ready for that, and try to do our best to stop them. I don't know what to say. I mean, we got to try to stop them and see what we can do. But take a look here. We'll look at some signings here before week 5, and we got Lawrence Times here. Looks like it's going to be a 3-year deal. Yes, it's going to be a 3-year deal there. About $18 million there from him. And there you see he's ready for next season. So we got him signed here. Roosevelt Nix, he's another guy. He's one of our fullbacks here. Looks like we're trying to get him in a 3-year deal. He's looking somewhere around $5 million, and I think hopefully we can sign him. He's actually a pretty decent fullback. If not, then I know I have an idea of some fullbacks we can go after here for next season. But we'll see if he's going to re-sign here with us. And does he? Oh, actually $6 million. He's asking if we can improve the bonus. So we'll try to see if we can work on that. Wheaton, there you see him. He's asking for a fair deal of about $14.5 million over 3 years. And I think we're going to try to see if we can get him somewhere close to maybe 15. Give him a little extra there for 3 years. as Marcus Wheaton, he's been doing a great job here, stepping up in that position since Bryant was gone because of suspension there, and he's shown us that he can, he's worth it, and so we'll try to see what we can do here for him. I think we'll move him. We'll put Bryant in the slot position, and we'll put him on the outside there. So we'll take a look here. I think we're making an offer here with 15.5, so about a million more that he's asking for, and yeah, he's going to stay with the team. So nice job there. Good job of re-signing the 2 players that we got re-signed. We just got to get Knicks now re-signed here, and then of course I think we got another 2 weeks before we can sign any more players for our team here, the ones that we want to keep around. But that's a look at the first 4 weeks here of the season. And like I said, I wish the games were... the games are exciting, but they're just too close. So hopefully we can get our defense going. And like I said, I feel like we're, again, being one of those defenses like a rubber band. You keep stretching out, and the more and more you keep stretching out, the more and more aware you're going to get to it until it just decides to snap. And I feel like that's going to be coming up here pretty soon. I think we've got the Patriots coming up here soon, so I'm hoping that it's not the case when we play against them coming up in a couple of weeks here. So that is it for Steeler Nation here on Madden 17 or Steeler Nation on Madden 17 for the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise here on ESGNet. That's it for me, for you guys. Come on back for the Week 5 matchup where you see the Jets taking on the Steelers at home at Heinz Field. We'll see what we can do against them, as they are 3-1 and we are 4-3. Hopefully we can stop Forte, as he has not had a good run here as of late. He's actually had some problems with fumbling. Hopefully we can get a couple of forced fumbles on him and also put some pressure on Ryan Fitzpatrick, as he has not been throwing well either. So we'll see what we can do against those two here coming up next episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Steeler Nation here on ESGNet and Green Bay, or also Pittsburgh Steelers franchise here on ESGNet. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. The links are down below in the description. And as always, keep yourselves and each other healthy, and I will see you guys next time.